There's quite a large psychological difference between men and women. Natural selection didn't just shape our bodies differently, it shaped our minds differently as well. Think of it this way. Give a man 50 wives and he can have children galore. Give a woman 50 husbands, no use whatsoever. Over evolutionary time, natural selection has favoured those men who have competed like mad to get mates. Over evolutionary time, natural selection has favoured the women who have been judicious about which mates they've taken. We are all the descendants of the competitive men and of the judicious women. It's still extremely relevant because we still have the same psychologies as we had over the last 500,000, 2 million years. And until we recognise that, until we recognise that the psychology of men and the psychology of women is different, we're not going to be able to build a fairer society and a society in which men and women can realise their potentials.
I actually think I probably agree that masculinity is very different from femininity. I certainly believe that. But I also believe that men work very hard at creating masculinisms. They put themselves through extraordinary disciplines. And there's a lot of aspects of the way they behave which are highly cultural and extremely protean, could change pretty quickly.
For instance?
This sort of Steven Pinker basic argument is that men's capacity for increased reproductive opportunity leads them into competitive behaviours and so on. I mean, this is the old sociobiological argument. This is certainly true. But then if you actually look at our society, you realise that sex has become practically virtual, that there is an enormous industry of sexual fantasy, that masturbation, which men used to struggle against in the first half of the century, is now practically a duty to yourself, like cleaning your teeth, and you're supposed to do it whenever you feel like it. And if you have difficulty in doing it, you're supposed to feed your fantasy with any one of $1 trillion worth of cultural products that would produce in you a completely factitious state of arousal. I mean, this is a huge phenomenon. It's massive. It's the biggest aspect of our culture. It's what people in other galaxies will comment on, this extraordinary cybernetic virtue.
Almost setting up a clash between the way that Darwinism operates through human beings and the recent arrival in the last century or two or three of the culture of feminism, with its increasing cultural acceleration, particularly over the last 50 years,